Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gratitude Day 2024. My name is Bernhard Landwehrmeyer. I'm a neurologist based in Ulm, Germany, and I would like to extend my welcome in particular to the HD folks in Barranquitas, around the lake of Maracaibo, and throughout all of Venezuela. I am very indebted indeed to the HD affected in Venezuela, and I'll explain to you why that is. Back in 1993, I joined the lab of Anne Young and her husband Jack Penny at the Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston in the United States. And a couple of months later, Jim Guzella, Marcy McDonald, and the entire collaborative HD group succeeded in identifying the Huntington disease gene and the Huntington disease mutation. Big breakthrough made possible by the efforts over more than 10 years throughout the world to pinpoint the faulty gene and the mutation within that gene. All the efforts depended on the willingness of HD-affected families to make themselves available for studies, donating blood, and being subject to repeated extensive examinations, in particular folks around the lake of Maracaibo affected by Huntington's disease. Nancy Wexler led that effort, and I had the opportunity to join in 1994. Being in Venezuela was transformative for me. I am a neurologist, so I see patients, I'm a clinician, but at the time, I primarily worked at the lab bench. Going to Venezuela, I was exposed to the entire spectrum of Huntington's disease. I saw all of the trouble that Huntington's brings on affected and their families. I also saw that despite you having quite a lot of trouble controlling your movements, you may still go on fishing. It was amazing to see people in boats at the lake going on fishing despite being pretty severely affected by Huntington's disease. I saw the struggle that Huntington's can bring on. I remember a man, aggressive, difficult to live with, who had to be confined to an iron cage in the backyard. I saw the impact that social circumstance have, hunger, not having enough to eat, living in poor housing conditions, 3 hammocks in a shack, for instance. I saw a 17-year-old girl, her mother severely affected by Huntington's disease, couldn't take care of the family, being in the position to provide care for, she was the oldest of all her 3 younger siblings, as well as feeding her debilitated grandmother at 17. So I realized social circumstance, your living conditions, what you have to eat, is of big impact. And something that can be changed. I also realized that we are limited, and still are limited, in what we can do to help and ameliorate symptoms and signs of Huntington's disease and all the troubles that Huntington's disease brings about. And I saw that we need to find ways to change the course of the disease in order for families having a life not burdened to the same extent by HD and its impact. I also saw that the children in Venezuela that I met were intensely curious. My Spanish is limited, but we had great conversations. They were very curious, and they understood the power of collaboration. I was there with a group of international scientists, and that inspired me going forward to think that big problems, and Huntington's is a big problem, can only be tackled by us, many people, working together. According to your capabilities and capacities. That inspired me later to work towards an international collaboration, first in Europe, then at a larger scale, many of you know Enroll HD, to help by working together to better understand Huntington's disease and to find ways to relieve patients and families from suffering and other consequences of Huntington's disease, and to finally come to tools and interventions that change the course of Huntington's disease and will allow people, hopefully going forward, to be in the position to change the fate that the presence of the altered gene implies for their future. This topic, this search for a better tomorrow by working together, has been the theme of my work over the last 30 plus years now, and would not have happened would I not have had the opportunity to visit Venezuela and see all the facets of Huntington's disease in this region. So for that reason, I'm very grateful indeed, because this is a driving force and a motivator to this day for me and my work. Thank you very much.